Hello and welcome to GuySuCo Roundup. I'm your host, Curtis Ital. Effective leadership through conversation brightens the path for employees during this transition period. The recent events have offered reassurance, boosted confidence, fused partnerships and interdependence for one GuySuCo. Do stay tuned for more on this week's special program of GuySuCo Roundup.
From the field to the factory, to the supermarket, then to your home. Demerara Gold, the world's finest sugar, is now available in the right size. Enjoy the rich flavor and natural taste of pure cane sugar the easy way, the convenient way, the Demerara Gold way. Available in supermarkets nationwide. Demerara Gold, the ingredient that will always create a stir.
From the very land that gave sugar around the world the name Demerara comes the finest quality of cane sugar, Demerara Gold. Enjoy the real thing from the original source, the rich, fertile Demerara coastline where sugarcane has been harvested since the mid-17th century. The result is here for you to enjoy. Wherever this unique sugar flavor is needed, Demerara Gold is the ingredient that will always create a stir.
Hello everyone. The One GuySuCo internal campaign is resuscitated with an approach meant to forge greater internal collaboration, partnerships and team building. Acting Chief Executive Mr. Paul Bim concluded interactive sessions with the different tiers of the management and staff to inform and discuss the corporation's current position, its future plans and importance of working together on the way forward as the new GuySuCo.
I should mention I've got Adriana Thomas, who you will know, I think, our Corporate Communications Manager, Michael Carter on the left. He's the head of HR, acting, and I'm the CE acting at this point in time. Now I know this actual meeting is long overdue, I think. It's been quite a long year already. We're into 6 months of it. And there's been a lot happening, and I'm sure there are some questions which you are going to be asking a bit later on. Now I expect this to be an interactive session, all right? No me alone talking, not Michael or Adriana talking, all right? The expectation here this morning, I'm going to just give you a brief outline of where we are, and then you can start communicating with us here on the sort of challenges you might be facing on the estate, any sort of clarifications you might need on where the industry is. We also talk about some of your strengths, and of course we have to talk about the second crop, which is not so far away. We expect the industry to get up to about 150,000 tons of sugar. I can't see us doing that by 2020. There's been a number of hiccups along the way, and we might struggle to get there in 2020, but we have to give it our best shot. The vested estates, the assets of the vested estates are supposed or will be sold by NISIL SPU, and the proceeds from the sale of those assets would be coming to GuySuCo to fund our program over the next 3 years. When we did the 3-year plan, it actually showed that if we could get everything in place and get the production up and that sort of thing, we could be going into the black by about 2021. It's not a long way from now. What I mean by going into the black, we don't have to have a deficit in terms of cash, in terms of profits. And GuySuCo could become, as it is with the 3 estates, become profitable once again. But that requires quite a bit of investment, requires a lot of motivation and dedication from yourselves. Right? Don't forget, human resources in this industry is the single most important resource that we have. Never mind all the new equipment. If you don't get the people to do it, you can forget about it. Now, the actual sorting out of the vested estates has taken some time. It's 6 months down the line, and we still haven't really settled down as yet as to where those estates or who is going to manage those estates. Not manage really, but we do still look after the security on those estates for a start. But in addition to that, we have the powerhouses except for Skeldon. Enmore, Rose Hall, and Wales, the generating sets are still running. And the main reason for that is because of the drainage. We have an arrangement with NDIA where we actually look after the DNI of all the estates, and it also benefits the community, as you know. And they refund us on a monthly basis for the costs that we incur in managing the drainage and infrastructure on those estates. Now, the thing is, the generating sets, the powerhouses on those estates are still required to drive some of the pumps at those locations. So we'll continue to have a presence in the meanwhile, on those estates.
Well, we cannot be successful and achieve the 3-year plan if we're not disciplined and if we don't have order. The estate, your estate manager is the custodian of the information on the estate, and Mr. Paul Bim is the custodian of the information in the corporation. And the head of GuySuCo is Mr. Paul Bim at this point in time. He is the acting chief executive. And therefore, in the absence of the board, Mr. Bim assumes some of the governance and leadership responsibilities. And as well as the minister assumes some of the governance and the leadership responsibilities in the absence of the board. And hence the minister was able to give us support with approving some of the tenders. So I just like to make that very, very clear, and so that you will know that and you're going to pass that down to your other staff. The other point I'd like to make very clear is as it relates to information that is being given from the organization. We've had earlier in the year, and I'm going to be very specific as it relates to this, as we've been working with the Special Purpose Unit, and there's been some confusion early in the year as to whether we fell under the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Agriculture. You must leave here very clear today, knowing that we fall under the Ministry of Agriculture. That's very clear. The Minister, Honorable Noel Holder, he's our Minister, and that must be very clear when you leave here today. The other thing that must be very clear also is in terms of the lines of communication. So the same way you were operating before, let's say up to December last year, in terms of as it relates to information being shared within the organization, that it being passed to your estate manager, that situation must continue to obtain. Whatever it is that's coming out of this estate that goes, whether it be to the Special Purpose Unit or any other organization, it has to pass through your estate manager or any other such person that was designated by the estate manager.
Mr. Brim did allude to the fact that we are in discussion with the Public Health Ministry with regards to either handing over those to them, and that will be part of their satellite health service, or they pay us if we are to continue with that. So we would have had one such meeting, and we would have had two previously arranged meetings that were cancelled, and we are hoping that before the end of this month or by the end of this month, we can meet with the Chief Medical Officer, or in his absence, whoever he has designated, to continue the discourse so that we can finalize the whole arrangement with regards to the primary health care service for those estates that have been vested.
With cane farmers playing an increasing role in agriculture farming at IFLAT, the Agriculture Research Center has collaborated with the National Cane Farming Committee to run off an open day at the West Demerara location. It is envisioned that following the interactive sessions, cane farmers may approach the Agriculture Research Center for further guidance in areas inclusive of breeding and selection, weeds management, and pest control.
We have here the agronomist and the estates that at Eiffel Estate is very familiar with these varieties. Now what happens is we develop the varieties, and as I told you, it takes a phenomenal long amount of time to develop these varieties. So we have to test the varieties in all soil types, we test it for disease, etc. When it finally gets approved at the research department, it comes here. Because we don't.
It is a dedicated area that we have that we are propagating to extend into the commercial fields. So you are fortunate to have a very clean stand of cane that will be taken back after deciding on which varieties you're taking back to your plot. This was an area that was abandoned for quite a lot of time, over 10 years thereabout, and we recently bring it back into cultivation. So we have chosen this area to propagate clean seed material for extension.
What we have here are newer selections. Now, what we brought you here to do is these are available to you for you to try. I'm not saying convert your whole farm, right? But if you have a lot of different things in your farm, you're less likely. So if you see one that goes well in your particular area, you could extend it, right? Now we have the varieties agronomists here, we have the estate agronomists here. So any question you want with these things, how much you can get, they will organize these things for you.
My name is Andrew Moore, the estate agronomist. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to Eiffel Estate. Now, what we have, when we look to the left, is the variety DB 0375. Early part of last year, we received just a few bundles from ARC. Now, what we did, we planted 5 rows of this cane into the primary nursery. From then on, we actually drawn it down and we establish it here. Now, the purpose of this is to carry it into stage 6 trial. Have some other varieties that already passed through the factory. Varieties such as D98239, which performed excellent, right, in terms of cane quality and so forth. We had like 19 bricks from the last evaluation, and in terms of tons cane per hectare, it performed excellent. We had like 98 tons cane per hectare. That's a variety I can confidently recommend to you right now because we already evaluated it. I will show you it as we proceed. Now, we also have the one that you saw in the lecture hall just now, which is the 9824. That is the very fat one where we saw. Now, we already did evaluation on that. We did it on soil 16, and we also planted it on the soil 23 soils, right? As of now, I can recommend that to the farmers.
As of this crop, we will be assisting you as the need be, and that is basically whatever part of the preparation you would like us to be part of with the payment process being highlighted to you, we will be bringing forth to you during the second half. What we have in terms of machinery to do the job, we have the expert Mr. Cosmac here, and we have, just when we get out of this area, we will be viewing the machinery we will be using and the implements also, so we can have that first hand look.
The implements and the tractors that we use in our tillage operation.
If you notice the difference between rice and sugar is that for sugar we need more depth, right? We need more depth. So once we're in some of the clay soils, we need to go as deep as possible. And so when we're using plows and the harrows, we go use the 28 this or higher, right? So you can, if you have the horsepower to pull a 32 inch, that might be good. If you don't have the horsepower to pull a 32 inch, then you might have to stay to the 28 inch, and so that you get at least 12 inches depth. But if you can get 15 to 18 inches depth, it's good, right? And that helps with what? Farmers, the deeper you break up the soil, what would that help the cane to do? Establish deeper roots, right?
Deeper roots.
And that's a plus for us. So these are some of the implements we use, and the tractors also.
Restructuring within the agriculture departments on estates is moving ahead rapidly. This is one of the measures to increase efficiencies in the second crop. Following the March 20 meeting with the unions, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union GAWU and the National Association for Agriculture, Commercial and Industrial Employees NACI, which offer representation to some supervisory levels of staff in the field, the Industrial Relations and Agriculture departments have collaborated on this initiative. More than 40 apprentices of the GuySuCo Training Center will take the Government Technical Education Examination to qualify for technical competence in more than 6 disciplines pursued at the center. Once successful, these will form the 5th to 7th batch of apprentices graduating from the premier institution in July. Effective June 22, the GuySuCo Training Center will launch its partnership with the Ministry of Natural Resources to deliver technical training to the first cohort of former employees of the corporation and residents of the Region 6 community. InStep, that is an industry skills training enhancement program, is geared to reach ex-employees, their families and members of community which are impacted by the reorganizing of the sugar industry. The InStep is a facet of the corporation's Sustainable and Resilient Communities program. In next week's edition of the GuySuCo Roundup, we'll bring you highlights of this historic event.
Sugar. We have been using it for centuries. It has traveled across the globe,
and stories have told that one time sugar value equaled that of precious gem. But what is sugar? Sugar has a sweet and granular texture. It makes cake sweet, and it's said a spoonful of sugar helps the medicines go down. Sugar's scientific name is sucrose. It is not made in a lab or factory, but naturally made by Mother Nature. When plants absorb energy from the sun, water from the soil, and carbon dioxide from the air, they are able to produce sucrose by the process called photosynthesis. Sucrose is found in all plants. Some are more obvious, like watermelon and mangoes, but in all the plants in the world, sugar is abundantly found in sugarcane. Sugarcane is a grass. Grass? Yes. Sugarcane is a grass that is grown in tropical countries like, you guessed it, Guyana. So no one really makes sugar. It is all done by the plant. When the sugar canes are harvested, we remove the sugar juice from the plant. But we have to plant and care the sugar canes for it to grow tall and produce lots of sugar for us to extract. The extraction and recovery process, which are done in the factories, separate the natural liquid sucrose from the plant materials. First, the cane fields are set on fire to remove dead leaves, and then the stalks are harvested from the fields and transported to the factories, where the canes are chopped and shredded before it is crushed in large roller mills to release the sugar juice. The fiber, known as bagasse, that is remained from the sugarcane plant, is transported to be used as fuel for the factory. The sugarcane juice contains sugar, dirt from the sugarcane stalk, some cane fiber, and water. Calcium hydroxide is then added to the juice to clarify it. The calcium carbonate, muds, and other impurities are filtered out from the juice. Impurities from the clarification process is further processed at a vacuum filter to extract sugar-rich juice, which is returned to the process. The sugar-free mud is rich in nutrients and therefore returned to the cane fields as fertilizers. Next, the clarified juice is taken through a series of evaporators to remove water, causing the juice to thicken into a syrup. Then the juice is transported to a vacuum pan, where fine seed crystals are added to aid the formation of sugar crystals. Crystallization leaves behind a muddy liqueur that is ultimately made into molasses. To separate the sugar from the muddy liqueur, they are put into a centrifuge, and the final products are raw sugar crystals, which are ready to be consumed. The molasses are then to be sold and converted into many other products, including rum, pharmaceutical products, and other ingredients for cooking. Thanks to this tropical grass known as sugarcane, I have a job among the other 17,000 employees that is employed by the Guyana Sugar Corporation, which is also responsible for the development of many of the towns and villages established in Guyana.
I am Peter Buru, champion for Enmore Estate 2015. GuySuCo is we own. We have to work for what we want. If we do not work, we cannot achieve. Everyone must come together to change GuySuCo into a strong business. Join me as I put GuySuCo first.
Thank you, Chef. It's now time to meet our special employee in this week's segment of Sweet Stories. Sweet Stories is the segment of our program which takes you a little further into the lives of the people associated with sugar, highlighting their challenges, sources of strength, victories, and commitment to sugar. Cutting and lifting canes is where Vijay Rahim started off his career in sugar. Today he is a security constable and is still lifting weights, but in the gym.
I'm a security constable at GuySuCo, Fairmont Estate, and I'm also a powerlifter, 66 kg weight class. I won the overall best lifters 3 times. So far, I get 7 medals for Guyana. I get in 2013, I went to the championship in Florida. It was a 3-in-1 competition, so I managed to get a gold in Caribbean, a silver in North American, and a bronze in Pan American level. But at this time, I get stronger, so if I get a chance next year, I could manage to get 3 golds, but you know, just waiting for the opportunity. I love the sport so bad. I used to go in the background and work and then come home, catch a rest, then hit the gym. And I was be cramping up in the gym because, you know, the dehydration.
The estate manager, after meeting and learning of the complications Vijay was experiencing, offered him alternative work.
The estate manager, Mr. Vinor, see me at the background, and the cane harvester told him that I'm a powerlifter. He said the only job available right now is security, so I decided to take a job and I elevate myself from there, and I get better and I achieve a constable now.
As a young man, Vijay had many struggles.
School life was really rough because, to tell you the truth, I went to TI and I had like 1 month to complete the course that I was doing, and teacher ended up and, you know, fall sick, and then it was a rough time. And my father, he's a cane harvester also, so he ended up with a back injury, so I had no money for passage and, you know, things like that, so I had to drop out.
Vijay carries a great amount of responsibility and hopes to one day have success academically.
I get a lot going on right now because I get a fitness gym, so I just gotta run the gym. Then I'm a part-time farmer, so I just gotta do the job at the estate. So it's very difficult. The time is not there, but I still try to get better in.
The young powerlifter's career is impressive, with many wins under his belt. The sport is demanding, and has dealt Vijay some rough blows.
It's very hard, to tell you the truth. It's very, very hard. As a powerlifter, you have to eat a lot to get the strength. So sometimes when I train for a competition, I have to eat 8 meals. 8 meals. So it'll be very expensive, But sometimes, you really got to make sacrifice. I had a back injury. I had a herniated disc. Took about 8 months to be fixed, and not 100% as yet. But I'll look into be 100% and train, and hoping to break some Caribbean records next year.
The highly motivated 24-year-old is committed to the sport.
Just weights all the time. I eat, sleep, everything's weights. It's just all about weights. I just enjoy training people, like fitness or bodybuilding or powerlifting. I was training people in, all the areas, so I really like training people. We just win most of the weight class, when you go at senior nationals. We just win the 66 kg, the overall best lifter. We just win the gym title. And we just win the 105, 93 kg. And most of the class we just win, maybe, I think. If we didn't get first, we get second. So we don't go more low on that, because we just train very hard. We train every day, 7 days a week, different training, different day. We don't really take a day off, because we want to do well, we want to chase record.
While academics is on the back burner for now, Mr. Rahim has his eyes set on some records.
My greatest achievement was to break the Commonwealth deadlift record. I did it in, I think it was 2012. I'm planning to break the 66 kg world record in the deadlift, because I'm doing it in the gym for reps, but it's just the big challenge right now is to keep the body weight and just wait for the opportunity. And I'm hoping for a chance next year for, to do well, to bring some medal for Guyana.
Vijay is married and is the father of one. He is grateful for the support of his family.
My daughter is 3 years, I was married for 4 years. It has been very hard on her, to prepare 8 meals. But she loved me, and she know that I love the sport very much, and she know that she can't change my mind, so she's very supportive, I must say. They eat, right, but they don't eat as much as me, So they just eat, but they don't eat as much meal as me. And they kind of like the high protein diet too, so.
Rahim, as a bodybuilder, frequents the gym daily, running his routine. And he advises that everyone should work out regularly.
I think everybody should go to a gym, whether you're into lifting or not, because health, your body is very important, because only one body you have. So when that finish, it finish. So everybody should take care of their body, and exercising every day, help you to live longer, because you won't get all the sickness around. So everybody should be in a gym, exercising.
Thank you, Mr. Rahim, for sharing with us. This concludes our program of GuySuCo Roundup for this week. Thank you for staying tuned, and do join us again next week. I'm your host, GuySuCo. Goodbye.